from the Corolla Field here in Buena. It is time for the second round of the 2023 Diamond Classic here between the Audubon Green Wave and the Buena Chiefs. I'm your play-by-play broadcaster for today's game, Dan Wilkins, along with my producer, Donna Wilkins, and our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel and Caleb Lane. This is going to be quite the interesting game, considering that both teams are some of the biggest powerhouses in South Jersey Group 1 baseball. Buena is going into this game 14-1 with one of their best seasons in years ever since they won the state title in 2014, but they're 8-1 in the Cape Atlantic National Division. They started off the year 12-0 after wins over Atlantic City, GCIT, Collingswood, Middle Township, Holy Spirit, Haddon Heights, Cape May Tech, Salem, Overbrook, and Atlantic Tech. Their first loss came on May the 1st versus Absegami, which is another very respectable team at 10-5. That was a 3-2 game, and then they won the second out of two versus Absegami 3-1. They just beat a wild one over St. Joseph's Hamilton 14-11, and this is their first game since Thursday. Audubon, they played Gateway on Thursday and beat them handily 22-4. However, I was not in attendance for that game because I was under the weather, so apologies to all the fans that were looking for a broadcast but didn't get one. But this is going to be a fun game here between Tom Carney's Buena Chiefs and Rich Horan's Audubon Green Wave. From everybody here at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, welcome to coverage of the second round of the Diamond Classic here in 2023. It'll be a fun one. Audubon is ranked number 9 in the tournament out of 24. Buena is ranked number 8, so you could not get more even teams in the second round. After Audubon beat Holy Cross 10-0 in 6 innings thanks to a Charlie Grady one-hit shutout, that brought them to where they are now. And for Buena, their first round of the Diamond Classic was versus St. Joe's, which they won 14-11. We'll go to a quick break as the umpires, coaches, and captains are meeting at home plate to discuss ground rules and lineup cards. We'll be right back after this. The Buena Chiefs taking the field here to face the Audubon Green Wave in the second round of the 2023 Diamond Classic. As this one is going to be fun, whether you're watching from Buena or from Audubon or from anywhere else in the country. Welcome to coverage of the Audubon Green Wave and the Buena Chiefs on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Let's go over the lineups for both sides, starting with Audubon's Green Wave, coached by Rich Horan. It's Tyler Wiltsey at shortstop leading off, followed by Scott Lynch at first base batting second. Ryan Zimmer is behind the plate batting third. Charlie Grady's in left field batting cleanup. Jack Dempsey is the second baseman batting fifth. At the DH position batting sixth is Trent Bennell. Gabe McCracken will play third base but will not bat. Bryce Dempsey is in right field and will bat seventh. Nick Caladros is on the hill batting eighth, and Charlie Copsetta, returning from his strained quad injury, he bats ninth in center field. For Tom Kearney's Buena Chiefs, it is Trey Carano, the shortstop, batting leadoff. Riley Betts is the catcher, batting second. Cole Shover is the second baseman, batting third. The left fielder is Zach Strauss, batting cleanup. At the DH spot is going to be Vinny Del Ponte, and at number 6 is going to be the center fielder, Charlie Sagliani. The right fielder is going to be Aiden Carano in the 7th spot. Batting 8th is going to be Brandon Strauss, the third baseman. And batting 9th at the first base spot will be Austin Warnick. Wakick, excuse me. But Buena and Audubon, these teams have not played each other in several years, and the last time they played in a non-playoff game was all the way back in 2010. So these teams have plenty of experience from when the stakes were high in terms of state playoffs, but this year they play in a much more prestigious tournament in terms of bragging rights, the Diamond Classic. Tyler Wiltsey facing the right-hander for Buena. The first pitch, and we are underway with a strike, 0-1. From Joey Kurtz, wearing number 42. He is the right-hander starting for the Chiefs this afternoon as the 0-1 is right down Broadway for a strike, 0-2. Joey Kurtz, the 6'3" senior right-hander, a 0.95 ERA in 2023, 39 strikeouts over 29 in the third innings as that one sails away, 1-2. Only 4 earned runs in just under 30 innings. He's appeared in 6 games this year. This is his 7th. 2 innings versus Atlantic City, a full 7 versus GCIT, 6 versus Holy Spirit, 2 1/3 versus Cape May Tech, 5 versus Overbrook, and a full 7 versus Absegami. Wiltsey sends this one out to right and foul. It's going to be 1-2. Again, first 3 for the Green Wave to start off this one will be Wiltsey, followed by Lynch and Zimmer. 1-2. Off the hands, and that one is going to be a foul ball. Just by a hair. Kind of got jammed a little bit there, but counts the same. Green Wave on Thursday won a 22-4 blowout over Gateway. Again, I was not in attendance for that one as I was under the weather, but we are back for more baseball this weekend here in Buena as there's a swing and a miss. Strikeout for Kurtz, his first of the day. Make that strikeout number 40 on his senior campaign, and this brings up Scott Lynch. First one to Lynch is a swing and a miss on a fastball in on the hands. It's 0-1. Just getting started here at Corolla Field here in Buena. There's a strike right down Broadway, 0-2. The 0-2 offering. Strike 3 right down the middle. Back-to-back Ks for Kurtz, and there's 2 down for Ryan Zimmer. Audubon usually is the kind of team to pounce on things early, but it seems like they may need a couple of batters and maybe a cycle through the order to kind of figure out Kurtz, because we've seen this before with teams that may be a little bit overpowering, where if they end up not starting off early, they seem to pick up the pace later on in the game. By the time the first round of batters has gone around, usually is when things start to settle in, as Zimmer fouls one back towards the chain link fence, and it's 1-1. After this would be Charlie Grady, the senior left fielder for the Green Wave. First three for the Buena Chiefs will be Trey Carano, Riley Betts, and Cole Shover. 1-2. Or rather 1-1 is a swing and a miss.
Now it's 1-2.
Yeah, now it is. Zimmer trying to avoid a 3-strikeout inning for Joey Kurtz, as he's collected strikeouts 40 and 41 of the young campaign, and that's going to be a hit by pitch on the elbow. So Zimmer gets a free pass to first base, and we avoid a perfect inning from Kurtz, bringing up Charlie Grady. Grady was on the hill for all 6 innings versus Holy Cross Prep on Wednesday in a 10-0 win for the Green Wave. Threw all 6 innings and was just a couple of batters away from what would have been a no-hitter, but a line drive single in the top of the 6th off of the freshman shortstop ended up halting those sort of plans, but still a decisive win for the Green Wave, as I think last year the Green Wave had a lot more overt dominance over teams that they played. This year they're not really mercy ruling teams as much, but they still have the impact of being able to go into a place, and even if they don't win by 10, they're still going to win decisively enough to show, hey, we were able to do this and hang on for a full 7 innings. But that was not the case versus Gateway, the 22-4 game, which last year's score was 13-1. Grady bounces one over the mound, going back out towards the middle infield, and the throw to first is going to be no, it's going to be pulled off the bag. How about that from the first baseman for Buena? He got pulled off, and that's going to bring up Jack Dempsey after Austin Wakic couldn't make the play. I don't know who you would want to score that for or against, but regardless, Kurtz and his catcher, Betts, are going to go talk this one out. Should be 1-0 to Dempsey. Jason Stockland running at second for the catcher Zimmer, and a foul ball makes it 1-1. No, excuse me, it is 0-2. Dempsey trying to keep the inning alive with 2 on for the Green Wave, but he takes that one, and that's a ball. Maybe my angle didn't see it, but that looked like a strike in my eyes. But regardless, 1-2. And that's a foul ball. A pretty thunderous one at that. Still 1-2. Kurtz delivers, and that one is upstairs. They're going to throw back to second. That was a close call. I think Jason kind of got hung up on that one, but still was able to make it back. I think both teams kind of had a brain slip there. But after this, if Dempsey reaches, will be Trent Bennell. He's going to get it off the hands, and a pop-up that's going to land in fair territory. And they'll get the out at first base, bring it in by Wakic to retire the side. Buena leaves, the Green Wave leaves 2 on. Buena with their first chance to bat in a scoreless game in the second round of the 2023 Diamond Classic. The Green Wave infield meets on the mound as Nick Caladros looks to get another dominant performance here versus Buena, as he has done all year in his sophomore campaign, sporting an ERA that is lower than anyone could imagine he would sport this year. But the first batter for Buena will be Trey Carano. First pitch is downstairs. Caladros on the hill this year, sporting the number 2 1.52 ERA. This could very well be a pitcher's duel, just like it was versus Haddon Township, with Scott Lynch and Nate DeCristofaro. That game went a full 9 innings, and Audubon was victorious 2-1, as that one is downstairs, should be 2-0. But Caladros in 27 2/3 innings, 36 strikeouts, 16 walks, just 16 earned runs. So that means that between Kurtz and Caladros, these two pitchers have combined to allow 10 earned runs all season. In similar innings as well, like we said, that was Kurtz's 30th inning. Here's a ground ball out to Wiltsey. Picked up, throw to first is going to be high. And a bad throw by Wiltsey puts a runner on first for Buena, bringing up Riley Betts. And the thing is, is that with the Green Wave, facing teams like this, you have to have lockdown defense. Think of it as like a half-court press or a full-court press in the NBA. When you're facing teams that you know have a slight advantage over you in some certain statistics or records or accolades, anything like that, you want to be 1,000% sure that you do not make any errors. And that was a routine ground ball, but Wiltsey overthrew it at first base by a fairly wide margin, and you just can't let that leadoff hitter get on base for something that he doesn't deserve. The pitch to Betts is going to be inside and in, or rather up. 2-0. No, 1-0, pretty sure. See, the scoreboard is out of my view, so I kind of rely on that sometimes, but probably over-rely on it for what it's worth, but it should be 2-0. It's probably the most variable aspect of our broadcast is the balls and strikes. The outs, we got a good beat on, you know, the outs, the runs, got a good beat on that, but balls and strikes, they are so quickly moving. Downstairs, and Caladros in some trouble here. I mean, with Kurtz, he struck out the first 2 batters and then allowed a hit by pitch and an error, so still no hits on either side here in the bottom of the first. That's going to be a 4-pitch walk to Riley Betts. This is going to bring up Cole Shover. Their speaker is kind of quiet, so I can't hear their walk-up songs that well, but they have one right next to the dugout. 2 on, nobody out, runners on first and second for the Chiefs. As Caladros trying to avoid allowing the first run of the game, but showing bunt and going down the line is Shover. That one's going to be a foul ball. Did a good job of getting the bunt down, but it's really like Russian roulette with those kind of bunts. Never know if the ball's going to land fair, never know if it's going to land foul, don't know if you're going to pop it up. And there are mechanics to help you with bunts, but those are one of the biggest hit or misses that there is in baseball, no pun intended, with bunts. Even the best at bunting never perfect it. They never can 100% certainly get on base every single time with a bunt. And it's just the way you place the barrel, the way you place the baseball. Here's a ground ball. That's going to be a fair ball going to first base. Dempsey covering the bag, and a sacrifice hit is successful off the bat of Shover, bringing up Zach Strauss. Strauss at the dish here with runners on second and third, just one out following the sacrifice bunt. Strike one. Throw back, nothing going on there. There's a strike, 1-2. Caladros is good at getting out of jams. I think that maybe the reason why his ERA is above 1 in the first place is because he gave up 3 versus Bordentown, which was a 13-3 game. So ERA is really not all that it's made up to be. Just like batting average is not, or OPS is not the be-all, end-all for hitters, ERA is not the be-all, end-all for pitchers. You could have an extremely productive pitcher who's got a high ERA because he's put in high-leverage situations and maybe gives up a hit every now or then. Just speaking of, there's a base hit in center field, picked up, and scoring is both Buena runners, and it's 2-0. So an RBI single off the bat of Strauss, and the Chiefs have an early lead. So after the single by Strauss, here is Vinny Dal Ponte. Strike one. Inside, 1-1. After this would be Charlie Saglibeni. And with one out, a double play would be the only thing stopping him from coming up to the plate in the first. There's a strike on a breaking ball. I mean, Nick Caladros, as we've said before when we interviewed him, he's a big mindset guy, and it's almost like superhuman powers that just kind of loft his abilities. And that one was a routine pop-up caught by Dempsey. This camera's going a bit haywire with the fence, but it is what it is. There's 2 down. This is going to bring up Charlie Saglibeni. So Saglibeni at the dish. First pitch is downstairs. Runner on first for Buena, 2 down. As they lead by 2, the Chiefs take an opening swing in the 2023 Diamond Classic second round. Here's a fly ball in the left. Grady going over, and he can't get there. It's going to Charlie Copsetta, and that's going to be a base hit. That's going to move the runner to the corners. Or no, it moved up Saglibeni to second base. So Audubon off to a rough start, bringing up Aiden Carano. So here is Carano with runners on second and third and 2 down. First pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Hefty hack. the pitch. Downstairs. Pump fake the third. There's the strike. Second one, and it's 2-2. Two-strike pitch is going to be a line drive out to left. It's a foul ball. Charlie went for it down the line, but couldn't get it. Audubon trying to rebound, down by 2. Buena with 2 runners in scoring position. That is ball 4. A rather quick flip down to first base. He knew it was a ball immediately, didn't even wait for a call. This is going to bring up Brandon Strauss. No more room at the end. Buena with the bases loaded. First pitch of the ball. 2 down. Got a piece of it.
So early.
Again, got a piece of it, and it's going to be a 1-2 count. One, 2. Lofts one out towards left. That's a fair ball. That's going to be a base hit. Scoring is one Buena runner, and Charlie bobbles it. That's going to bring home 2, and a 2-run single makes it 4-0 Buena. Just not what you want to see. Runners on first and second as Buena has blown this one wide open in the first. The 9th batter of the inning for the Chiefs is going to come up, and it's going to be Aiden Walker. After an already stressful inning for Caladros, he is about to get batted around. Up and in. 1-0. There's a strike. Should be 2-1. Green Wave recorded 2 outs on a sacrifice hit and a pop-up, but 4 runs. Really what's been going on. A pop-up towards first. Going out as Lynch, and it's going to be out of play. Two-strike pitch. It's outside. Eight men have come to the plate for Buena, and Audubon is trying to avoid it being a 10th man, as there is a swing and a miss. Caladro strikes out Wakic, but the damage is done. We go to the top of the second. 4-0 Buena over Audubon. Top of the second here from Caroli Field in Buena as the first pitch. A strike to Trent Bennell. And as we lead off the second with a 4-0 Audubon deficit. 1-1. 9 men came to the plate for the Chiefs in the bottom half of the first. 4 scored. There's another one. 1-2. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Green Wave. That will be Trent Bennell, Bryce Dempsey, and pitcher Nick Caladros. Here's a ground ball back to short, and that's going to be a booted baseball. Now that was a tough play, so in my book I'm not scoring that as an error, but the official scores may have a different take on it. But Trey Carano just couldn't pick it up in time, and that's going to be an infield single for Trent Bennell. Strike one. 0-1. Strike two. Very quickly. Throw over. Nothing going on. Dempsey's got a battle here to avoid a 3-pitch strikeout, and he does. Sometimes your frame helps you a little bit. Bryce, I think, is around 5'7", 5'8", and sometimes having less inches on your body kind of means that you, in turn, have a slightly smaller strike zone. If you look at Aaron Judge batting, who is 6'7", versus Jose Altuve, who's 5'6", you can see that what Aaron Judge has called a strike is a lot different than what Jose Altuve has called a strike, because it's relative to your height, as the count is 2-2 to Dempsey. But the thing is that if you are, it depends on where the letters on your jersey are, and it depends on where your knees are. As that one hit him, and I believe it knocked him in the helmet, because his helmet flew off, but I guess he is not deterred by it. And this is going to bring up Caladros. What the bottom of the order needs to do is they need to do a lot of heavy lifting. And like I said, the first couple of batters, Wiltsey, Lynch, and Zimmer, can probably give some of the best advice that you can for how to approach Kurtz. So if you're going to go into this second inning and think, well, I need to swing as hard as I can. No, you don't. You just need what we've already gotten, which is an infield single and a hit by pitch. And speaking of, here's a bunt down the third base line, picked up, throw across is in time, but the sacrifice is successful. And there'll be one down for the number 9 hole hitter here, which will be Copsetta. Runners on second and third with one away. No Joey Slavin in the lineup today. I guess considering that Copsetta's back, they needed to kind of remove that that spot at the DH, considering that the DH today is Trent Bannell, since he's no longer needed in the outfield. Downstairs. Should be 2-0 already. Here's the pitch. Outside. Here's a green light. And a swing and a miss. 3-1. After this will be Tyler Wiltse, who struck out pretty decisively as last time. Swing and a miss. I guess that was strike 3 since he retired Copsetta.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't have it right, but swing and a miss is gonna be the third strikeout for Kurtz, bringing up Tyler Wiltse. 2 down. See, this is where the top of the order needs to be productive, because the middle of the order has set you up perfectly. The middle of the order has absolutely set this team up perfectly, and down by 4, you need to produce now. Not later, not sooner, now.
Especially with 2 already in position.
Yeah. Dempsey's fast, Bannell's fast. Rope one into the gap, get a fastball, turn it around, and get us some runs. 1-0 to Wiltse. Is going to be a slow chopper out to third. That's not exactly what I was talking about. And the side is retired. Wiltse continues to dip down a little bit. He's 0 for 2, and the Green Wave team as a whole with a lot of 0-fers in the order. We go to the bottom of the second, 4-0 Buena. Here in the bottom of the second, as Buena batted around, bringing up all 9 men to the dish in the first, scoring 4 of them, as Nick Caladros has already been replaced after 1 inning. Gabe McCracken is the new pitcher, and Caladros is the third baseman. I wonder if he might have hurt something. I really hope not, but after 1 inning and 4 runs allowed, you wonder if there either being overly precautious, in my opinion, or maybe there's something deeper. Here's the pitch to Toronto as a ground ball out to short, picked up. Wiltsey, throw across. Is another high throw. What in the world is going on with our shortstop today? That's going to be another hit. And another E6. Another error for the Green Wave as they continue to plunge here in the second inning. And yes, the second time in as many innings. That was a very clear overthrow. That wasn't Lynch's fault. He's 6'3", but there's no way that Lynch is having an NBA-sized vertical to reach that ball. That one is outside, 1-0 to Riley Betts, who walked and scored his first time. Betts and then Stover due up for the Chiefs. That one is inside, 2-0. There's a foul ball. Inside. I don't know if our cameras picked it up, but what our left fielder said was 100% right. McCracken had balked on the mound because he stepped off and didn't throw the ball. Fly ball to center field. Copsetta is there, one down. So a rather pedestrian fly ball to center field, and this will bring up Cole Shover. Ball one. Here's a ground ball out to third, picked up and foul. Runners go, and throw to second is not even gonna solicit a throw. Runner on second for Buena now, following the uncontested stolen base. And a fly ball to left field. That one's going to be over the head of Wiltsey. Grady picks it up. Here comes a throw to the plate. It's on line, but it's going to be cut off by Caladros. And another run scores for Buena, 5-0. So an RBI single by Shover will bring up Zach Strauss. Just overheard a conversation saying that it is Shover. My apologies. See, I got supersonic hearing over here. sometimes you don't have time to talk to the coach and ask about pronunciations and everything like that. So Cole Shover, after the RBI single, stands on first base. He had a sacrifice hit earlier in the ball game, but a 5-0 Chiefs lead as the Green Wave have kind of been turned into a tsunami early in this one. Although a very quiet ballpark from where we are standing.
It is absolutely gorgeous out here, though.
Yeah, out in the countryside of Jersey. Really can't get any better than this.
There's beautiful horses in the pasture next to us.
Yeah, which I will get a shot of in between innings, but I think there was like a Clydesdale over here at some point, but I don't see him now.
Yeah, I saw it too. I don't think it's a Clydesdale, but it has the big furry hooves.
Yeah, which is what I see on all the Budweiser
It's
horses.
not exactly a Clydesdale, but it's gorgeous.
Here's a grounder out to second base. Dempsey got the runner at second, but couldn't get the throw over to first in time. So a 4 unassisted fielder's choice brings up Del Ponte. Strike one. McCracken deals, and that one's inside. After Del Ponte will be Charlie Saglabeni for the Chiefs, as they have jumped out to an early 5-zip lead. There's another hefty hack and a miss.
And it's not like we haven't had runners on base. We just haven't been able to bring them home.
I mean, just one inning though. I mean, or 2 innings now, but still, it's not like a 9-inning game where you have those final 2 innings. As here comes a wild pitch, and down to second base will go Strauss, excuse me, but Strauss on second base as Del Ponte takes one upstairs. Yeah, I mean, the unfortunate thing is that in high school baseball, because they only play 7 innings, you have less opportunities to make up for your mistakes later on in the game. It's not like you have that 8th or 9th inning. And people don't realize this, but in college or high school baseball, whether you think about it or not, those last 2 innings, you kind of need those.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like getting an extension on a college paper where you have an extra week to complete it, you know? Where with those 7 innings, you only have 21 outs to deal with. Those extra 6 outs are huge. So you have less time to make up your mistakes. That's a walk to Del Ponte, bringing up Charlie Saglabeni. Oh, excuse me. There's a strike, 0-1. The tall grass out here, broadcaster's worst nightmare.
Yeah, and that field's full of buttercups. So pretty.
Buttercups?
Yeah.
I just ate lunch.
I didn't say peanut butter cup. I said buttercup.
I didn't know they were called buttercups. I just thought they were dandelions.
No, these yellow ones are not. They're buttercups.
Okay.
The
That one's upstairs.
dandelions are more like a weed, but they kind of look like a flower.
Yeah. They're the ones that you can like blow and make a wish, right?
No, those are the white pollen things. I forget what they're called.
I think they're dandelions.
No, the yellow's dandelions.
Okay, well.
You used to pick them when you were like 2 years old and give them to me as flowers.
Ah. How sweet. Should
So-
be 3-1.
So long ago.
I know. And then I used to play soccer for the town, got kicked out of the goalie position because I was picking flowers in the grass, looking at airplanes. Good times. There's a strike on the inside corner, 3-2. Runners on first and second for Buena as they've scored 4 in the first and have plated another here in the second. Throwback, nothing doing. For whoever wins this game, they would play the winner of Shawnee and Cherry Hill West, which I believe that game just ended about an hour ago. I know Kevin Minnick was reporting on that game. Here goes the runners, but it's not going to matter. A swing and a miss. McCracken records the K and gets out of it, but allows a run and leaves 2 runners on. We go to the top of the third, 5-0 Chiefs over the Green Wave. Here in the top of the third, this broadcast is brought to you in part by DJK Roofing, South Jersey's #1 roofing supplier with over 200 5-star reviews on the web. Get a free quote today by calling Carmine Rampolla at 856-778-3900. Again, that's 856-378-3900. Lynch lifts the first pitch into first base territory, and that one is taken in at the knees by Buena's second baseman, Cole Shover, and there's going to be one away here for Zimmer.
I thought he was going for a fair catch.
Yeah, I don't know. He dropped to his knees, but...
I'm like, wait, it's not baseball or football.
I was going to say, this is baseball.
I'm football, yeah. I got sports on the brain.
I know. I had the wrong sport on the brain. Zimmer fouls the first pitch back. So Cherry Hill West did beat Shawnee 2-0. So that means that if Buena wins this game, or if Audubon wins this game, no matter who wins, they would play Cherry Hill West at Cherry Hill West.
Do you know what day that would be?
I do not know. That's usually on the team's own accord, except for the semifinals and the finals to schedule these kind of games.
Cool.
Because like for the one day or one weekend shows like the Ralph Shaw or another tournament like the Roseboro or the Joe Lang, where you know, teams are always at one venue and one venue only. They don't really need to worry about that kind of stuff, but because this is a larger tournament, that's where it really goes into play, and that one is going to be over the head of the first baseman, Wakic, and it seems like overthrowing the first baseman is turning into tradition.
For both teams.
For both sides. That's the second time in both on both sides that we've seen an overthrow at first base from the middle infield. So Zimmer reaches with one down, and that's going to bring up Charlie Grady, who reached on an error by the second baseman his first time. Oh, wow. He ducked down, and that hit his bat. It counts as a foul ball, yeah, because it hit his bat. So... that happened to Bryce Dempsey the other day, where in Haddon Township.
Hit the knob of his bat, right?
Yeah. Well, the umpires are going to talk this one over. I don't know what there is to discuss. I very clearly heard it off the sound of the bat. Well, Bryce Dempsey in Haddon Township, what happened to him was that the ball actually hit off the knob of the bat, which definitely made things interesting. It's going to be 0-1 to Grady after a rather unusual foul ball. And takes another one, 0-2. One down, runner on first for the Green Wave. And a fly ball, a country mile foul. Two strike pitches, a swing and a miss. And Grady is retired, fourth strikeout for Kurtz, and this is going to bring up Jack Dempsey, who grounded out back to the mound his first time. Number 5 hole hitter for the Green Wave this afternoon. No matter who wins today, Audubon has a busy week ahead, and so does DWB. On Monday, Audubon will be going to Gloucester City when the Green Wave face the Lions in Colonial Conference play. They also will be playing in Paulsboro on Tuesday at 3:45 with more Colonial Conference action between the Patriot Division champs and the Liberty Division champs back from last year. They'll be facing off again in conference action. On Wednesday, we have a DWB feature game between the Maple Shade Wildcats and the Pittman Panthers from Alcyon Park. That'll be a fun one. And on Thursday, the Green Wave play another team, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but that's a swing and a miss. We'll take a look at the schedule, and we'll take a look at the bottom of the third coming up right here, 5-0 Buena. Bottom of the third, Green Wave trail by 5 versus the Buena Chiefs in the second round of the Diamond Classic. First pitch popped out to left, Grady over. Wow, we almost misplayed that ball. Must have lost it in something. There's really no wind, but
sun.
Probably the sun, yeah, if I were to guess. So fly out by Aiden Carano brings up Brandon Strauss as that first pitch is skied out towards right. Dempsey going over, and it's foul, 0-1. So just a correction, since I kind of had a brain fart on the broadcast. On Thursday, the Green Wave play Haddonfield at home, 4 o'clock. I think that is because Haddonfield gets out of school later. Like maybe they get out closer to 3, so all of their games have to start at 4 o'clock or later. But again, Monday is Audubon Gloucester, Tuesday is Audubon Paulsboro, Wednesday is Maple Shade and Pittman, Thursday is Audubon and Haddonfield, and then no game Friday, but Saturday will be Audubon and Shawnee, one of the top teams in the state. They play them at 10 a.m. on Saturday in Shawnee, so if you don't feel like getting out of bed on Saturday, you'll know where to be for that game. That one's downstairs to Strauss. Grounder to short. Wiltsey, don't overthrow him this time. Oh my God. Well, the throw wasn't overthrown, but it was wide. And make that a third error for Tyler Wiltsey in as many innings. I mean, this is the guy that's supposed to be the backbone of the young core of the team. He leads the sophomore class. He's one of the top shortstops in the state. He's committed to Rutgers, but 3 errors in 3 innings doesn't exactly help your recruitment.
Not every day can be a great day.
No, everybody's got bad days, everybody's got good days, but this is just not one of Audubon's greatest days. Swing and a miss. Throw over to first, nothing going on there. So Austin Wackett followed by Trey Carano. Here, the dish for Buena. This one's going to be a roller right back to the mound. Throw to second is in time. Throw to first is a beautiful 1-6-3 double play, and Wiltsey's able to redeem himself with the rawhide. We go to the top of the 4th, 5-0 Buena. Here in the top of the 4th for DWB Trivia Time, today's question is, from 1954 to 1959, the Cincinnati Reds changed their name over a fear of communism during the Big Red Scare of the 50s. The question is, what was that name change? Was it the Red Stockings, the Blues, the Red Legs, or the Red Raiders? The answer will be revealed in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's Trent Bannell leading off the 4th for the Green Wave, and the pitch is going to be a swing and a miss. 2-strike count to Trent. Outside. Excuse us, folks, if the camera's a bit shaky during the game. It's very sensitive, and I have to adjust it for all it's worth.
It's about, what, 6.5, 7 feet tall?
Yeah, the fence is a bit high, but we were able to make it work, as here's a foul ball down the 3rd base line. Able to make it work the best that we can. Bugs flying around. But a beautiful blue sky mixed with the cotton balls that nature has made. Bannell fouls it back. Should be 1-2. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Green Wave. Bannell, Bryce Dempsey, and Nick Coladros. After Dempsey ended the 1st and the 3rd innings. Bantle fouls it again. He battles. Coach Ryan Knoll, he was kind of yapping from the dugout a little bit. Come on, Trent, we got a battle, and that's exactly what he's done. He's been very good this year at working the count to the best of his ability. And he takes a ball, continuing to put in that work.
He's bantling.
I don't know what that means.
Just made up a new word.
You made up a new word.
Yeah.
I thought you were making some sort of pun, but here's a ground ball to third, picked up, throw across the diamond, is in time, and Buena is retired. Usually it's my job to make up words that don't exist.
Well, instead of
battling, it's bantling.
Yeah. What is that?
That is a stretch at best. What is what?
I don't know. I just heard something fly over there, and
I don't know.
it was chirping. I thought it was cute.
I heard it again.
Yeah.
Something in the grass. Oh, one.
This is a cricket or something.
I don't know. I think it's buried in the grass.
It sounded big, whatever it was.
High chopper to third. That is a foul ball, 0-2. To Bryce Dempsey. Outside. And the pitch. Lifted out right to second base. Couldn't have made it any easier, and there's 2 downs. I keep hearing it again.
Yeah.
I don't know what in the world that is.
I'm so curious of what it is. I heard it like fly in there. It's got to be like a grasshopper or something, but they usually don't sound like that.
We had a pet grasshopper once.
Cicada.
Yeah.
We had a cicada.
For like a week.
Yeah.
I guess he's my color commentator now. You have to file a 1099. Outside to Caladros. Should be 1-1. The sounds of the game. Nothing better. 2-1. I don't think he liked that call in the outside corner.
I don't think you did either.
No.
That's not something you get at a Phillies game.
No, I guess the Cicada's a Buena fan. I don't know. There's a strike, 2-2.
No, I meant the cicada is what we had as a pet.
Oh,
for
yeah.
a week.
I guess not.
Yeah.
2-2 pitch. Up and in, 3-2. Don't forget, folks, Green Wave are on the road a lot in these next couple of days. On the road versus Gloucester on Monday, Paulsboro on Tuesday, and then back at home versus Haddonfield on Thursday. Here's a ground ball out to second, picked up, and that one is a wild throw just a bit outside, in the words of Bob Euchre, and that's going to be an E4 on Buena. This is a rough defensive game, honestly. I mean, just both teams don't really seem to have a grip on the ball in terms of defense. And it's not like it's raining. It's not like the dirt is bad and it's making these players overthrow their bags. But it's just like there's something that's preventing these players from having a firm grip on the ball. And they keep racking up error after error after error. I guess that's what happens with Group 1 baseball. Just kind of something that happens. But Caladros reaches on an E4, and this brings up Copsetta. He struck out swinging his first time after battling from a 3-ball count. That one is outside. Throw back, nothing going on there. 3 errors for Buena in this one, and a grand total of 1, 2, 3 for Audubon. So both teams have 3 errors, and we're still in the middle innings of this one, in the top of the 4th.
Alien's gonna pop out soon.
I don't think aliens sound like that.
I don't know. You ever watch Signs? They came through the grass.
Is that the M. Night Shyamalan movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that one.
I've never seen any M. Night Shyamalan movies because I'm too much of a wuss to watch.
With well, they're not really that scary. They're just like suspenseful.
They're suspenseful, yeah.
Hitchcockian.
Yeah. suspenseful as me having to go through Easy Pass in Philly and not knowing how much, if it's going to go through or not. That's suspenseful. Here's the pitch, runner on first for Audubon, and he skies this one way up there, out towards third, and caught. No, he dropped it. Throw to third is not in time. So that's going to be an E5 on Buena, as a pop-up that was way up in the air came back down, and I guess came down so hard that it made the third baseman drop the ball. But that's going to put runners on the corners for Wiltsey, and this is where he's got to shine. You've had a rough day. 3 errors, 0 for 2. Redeem yourself. Get back into the swing of things, literally. That's 4 errors in as many innings for Buena. And a first pitch pop-up, shallow center. Who's got it? The shortstop does. That time he brought the ball down, and that retires the side. Green Wave leave another pair of runners on. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 5-0 Buena. Bottom of the 4th inning here in Buena, as we're coming back here for trivia time. From 1954 to 1959, the Cincinnati Reds changed their name to the Cincinnati Blanks over fear of being affiliated with communists during the Big Red Scare of the 50s. What was the new name? Was it the Red Stockings, the Blues, the Red Legs, or the Red Raiders? What's your guess, Mom?
I'm guessing Red Stockings.
You'd be incorrect. Let's reveal the answer.
No.
It is C, the Red Legs. That was their name. They changed it from the Reds to the Red Legs, although, as we'll go back to the main board, here's a ground ball out towards Wiltsey. Throw to first is in time. Exhale, everybody. There's one down.
I'm mad at myself, too, because we've been to Cincinnati. We've been to their stadium, and I'm sure I saw something about that.
Well, the Red Stockings was their original name in the 1800s, because we went. This was an earlier trivia time question where Cincinnati Reds were the oldest Major League Ball club, being founded in 1869. They were originally called the Red Stockings, I think, until the 1910s, and then for the good 50 years of their 150-year history, that's a hit by pitch.
So they were the Red Stockings at one point.
They were the Red Stockings at one point. I only threw in the Blues because that's the opposite of red.
Yeah,
and
you got to give them one.
Yeah. Well, their logo back in the 50s did have blue in it, but that was more of like, that was before they changed to the Reds. That was probably from the maybe early 1940s to the 1950s when they changed it. Runner on first for Buena after the hit by pitch, and the first pitch is outside to Cole Shover. Fly ball. And that one is caught and right. 2 down. So Dempsey makes the play. Carano grounded out to short to start the inning, followed by a hit by pitch and a fly out to right. That's where we stand now. Yeah, the only reason why the Reds changed their name originally was because they were a part of the National League, and it wasn't until the mid-1950s that the American League and the National League were actually intertwined, where they used to be separate organizations. They used to be separate organizations with separate presidents and therefore separate rules, which was why up until last year it was commonplace for a pitcher to bat in the National League but a designated hitter in the American League. Now that had only run from 1973 to 2021 with a DH universally in 2020. But the only time a National League team would play an American League team was in the World Series. That was the only time they would ever play each other. And it wasn't even until 1997 that they introduced interleague play, believe it or not. Before, only National League teams would play National League teams, and only AL teams would be AL teams. By the way, a hit by pitch to Zach Strauss brings up Vinny Del Ponte. Back-to-back hit by pitches in this inning. Puts runners on first and second for Buena. So with those separate rules, you know, and some marginally different rules, like I think there were some about base sizes and pitch mound heights and everything like that, but it didn't really matter because none of the teams were playing each other and it didn't really matter. It was only in like the 2000s and the 2010s that it became apparent that when interleague play started, that an American League pitcher batting just because they were in a National League ballpark was a bit funky. You know, I think we remember a couple of times we saw an interleague game in Philly, you know, like a Seattle pitcher would come up to the plate and he'd have a more wonky stance than I did in Little League. He looked like he didn't know what he was supposed to do. Because they only get those at-bats 4 or 5 times a year if they're pitching in that city. And they get maybe 20 interleague games a year, and maybe 10 of them that are in a National League ballpark. The other 10 are at their home in an AL ballpark. Both runners are going. He made a little bit of contact, but it's a foul ball. First 3 up for the Green Wave will be Lynch, Zimmer, and Charlie Grady. And the horse has made his way over towards us.
There's the Clydesdale, you call him.
Yeah, I don't know if I can turn my camera around in between innings with this fence, but we'll see what we can do. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball outside. Again, runners on first and second and 2 down for Buena. They lead 5-0, but have not scored since the second inning. You're waving at the horse. What is it going to do? Wave back? You're going to lift up his hoof
and come over and say hi.
Well, I don't think it took English in high school. That one is outside, and that's a walk. So bases are loaded. No more room at the end for Buena. This is going to bring up Charlie Sagliemi. Inside, 1-0. Foul tip, 1-1. After this would be Aiden Carano. There's the strike, 1-2. Popped up. That one's gonna go foul. So I never got back to my central point, which is pretty common in my ramblings, but the reason why the Reds changed their name from the Red Stockings to the Reds, and then the Red Legs, and then back to the Reds, was because when the Red Sox became a prominent team in the American League, they didn't want Red Stockings, Red Sox, didn't want it to be confused, so they just changed it to the Reds. A strikeout looking by Gabe McCracken retires the side, and Buena strands him loaded. We go to the fifth, 5-0 Chiefs. Here in the top of the fifth, I can't tell. Can you see the horses on your screen?
Yeah, go back a little bit. Yes,
Like that?
that's
Yeah.
perfect.
It's kind of the best view I can get, but those are the two horses behind us that are enjoying the game, but they did not have to pay for admission.
If they come close enough, the producer's running away.
Running away?
Running to pet the horses.
Oh, okay. I was like, I wouldn't say running away. I think running to pet the horses. Here's Scott Lynch leading off the fifth. Green Wave held scoreless thanks to Kurtz with a dominant performance through 5. Really has had a good one today, not allowing a single run, even though Audubon, or rather Buena, has had 4 errors, but don't worry too much considering that that Audubon has had 3, so 7 errors combined. This camera's really messing me up.
It's hard to do. It's above your head.
Yeah, it's above my head, so it just keeps drifting out of the way.
I don't think I could even reach it.
Well, because I'm like, what, 6 or 7 inches taller than you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes sense. There we go. Lynch grounder to third. Picked up. The throw is in time, 1 down. This is going to bring up Zimmer.
Yeah, you're 7 inches taller than me.
Yeah, it took you that long to do the math?
Yeah, I needed to count my fingers and toes.
Foul ball. My goodness. 0-1.
Hang with us, folks, while we're adjusting the camera.
Yeah, this has kind of been an all-game thing. Here's a ground ball at the short. Throw to first is wide. Oh, and they got him. Wow. I really thought he was going to be wide there, but Haran is coming out, and I don't think he likes the call. And he's going to walk back. I don't know if there's ever been a time where Haran has ever been thrown out of a ball game, and which is shocking because Haran is a kind of guy that on the outside looks very argumentative, like very dominant and very you know, kind of guy who looks like he might start a bar fight, but no, but like
He's mild-mannered.
he's mild-mannered, yeah, and he's real nice to all the players, and I wouldn't exactly say he's a player's coach, you know, he runs the team the way he wants to run it. He doesn't really conform to what the players exactly might want, but that's how he runs the team. And that's okay, because that's sometimes how you've got to run a team. And when you have 8 state titles as a program, and 7 of them are under your leadership as a head coach, you kind of get to run the show however you want to run the show.
Yeah.
There's a swing and a miss. Grady down on strikes, and Kurtz K's another. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 5-0 Buena. Bottom of the 5th inning, Buena leads 5-0 over the Green Wave. As the second round of the Diamond Classic, here's a ground ball, diving stop, Wiltsey picked up, throw across is not going to be in time. A wild throw, but a base hit to start the 5th. There we go. Showing bunt, laying it down. Throw to first is in time. Runner moves up to second base successfully. First pitch, swing and a miss. That's a ground ball out to second. Throw to first is in time, and moving over to third is going to be Buena's lead runner. And quickly, 2 outs. Fouled back. Fly ball out to right center field, and Dempsey is there to retire the side. He brings it in. We go to the top of the 6th. Buena's retired without leaving 1 base runner on. We go to the 6th. 5-0 Chiefs. top of the 6th inning, and Ryan Zimmer is the first to bat here for the Green Wave. 5-0. The Buena Chiefs lead over the Green Wave. They got an early start, and even though the Green Wave have halted them to no runs through innings 3, 4, and 5, the Green Wave have done nothing to reciprocate that and have instead been held to a big goose egg on the scoreboard here in the top of the 6th inning. Jack Dempsey is the first to lead off, excuse me. There's a strike. 0-2. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Green Wave after a 1-2-3 top of the 5th with a pop out, ground out, and a strikeout. Here's a ground ball out to short, picked up by Carano, and the throw over was booted. So that's going to be an E6, and Dempsey's going to reach, make that 5 errors for Buena this afternoon. But it doesn't matter if you have 5 errors, it's a 5-run game, 5-run lead. So that kind of negates it a little bit. There's a strike on 1. Here's a bunt. Back to the catcher. Throw to first. That one is in time, and it moves Dempsey up to second base. 1 down. On the sacrifice bunt, this brings up Bryce Dempsey. Trying to drive in his brother. Oh, did you find a bug? Oh, a spider. Okay.
And I didn't even scream.
No, well, you did internally.
When have you ever heard me internally scream before? It's always been external.
Kept your composure for the sake of journalism.
Yes. Anything for our fans.
Yes, 0-1 count to Dempsey. A 5-0 game, but Audubon again has a runner in scoring position. Kurtz steps off. I mean, really, Joey Kurtz has had a great night tonight. He recorded his first strikeout of the game, which was his 40th strikeout of the season for his senior. That one's a ball. But in total, a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts, no runs allowed, and the fact that he's been able to do that on 5 errors by his defense has really shown how dominant of a pitcher he can be in pressure. The Green Wave today have had a runner reach base in every inning except for the 5th, and in innings 1, 2, and 4, and now in the 6th as well, they've had a runner reach scoring position. So that's 4 out of 6 innings they've had a runner get all the way to second base, but they haven't scored any of those times. Swing and a miss. Dempsey strikes out. K number 7 for Joey Kurtz, and this brings up Nick Caladros. Caladros had a sacrifice hit in the 2nd and got all the way to 3rd thanks to an error back in the 4th. Throw over to 2nd. Dempsey is safe. First 3 for Buena in the bottom of the 6th will be 2, 3, and 4. Riley Betts, Cole Shover, and Zach Strauss. There's a strike. 0-1 to Caladros. Here's a ground ball out to 2nd. Throw to 1st is in time, and the inning is over. Green Wave, for the 4th time today, leave a runner in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Buena leads 5-0. here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch popped up. Out to second. Dempsey going out. Makes the catch, 1 down. And Betts is retired. The Green Wave have been held scoreless all day thanks to an immaculate performance by Joey Kurtz. He has really been the star of the show today. Don't forget, busy week for the Green Wave coming up. They play Gloucester on Monday in Gloucester. They play Paulsboro on Tuesday in Paulsboro. We have a DWB feature game on Wednesday between the Mapleshade Wildcats and the Pittman Panthers. On Thursday is Audubon and Haddonfield in Audubon at the Hank Greenberg Field. No game on Friday, but then 10 a.m. Saturday is Audubon and Shawnee in Medford. Or wherever Shawnee is, I honestly forget. Here's a fly ball out to left. Grady going over, he makes the catch, 2 down. See, Gabe McCracken has been especially special in this one. He came in long relief, ate some innings up after Caladros gave up 4 in the first to Buena, and has allowed 1 in the second, and then nothing more for innings 3 through 6. And here's a fly ball, and that's going to be a base hit.
Interesting.
Well, you know, a 2-out base hit doesn't mean that they're going to score. It means that they just got a runner on here thanks to a single by Strauss.
Shawnee High School is in Medford.
It is in Medford. That's what I thought, yeah. It'll be an early one, to say the least. First pitch is a ball. Strike 0-1. Here's a ground ball, high chopper to third. Caladros has it, throw to first is in time, and the inning is over. Green Wave have 3 more outs to make up for a game's full of mistakes. We go to the top of the 7th, last chance for Audubon, 5-0 Buena. The Audubon Green Wave trail the Buena Chiefs 5-0 in the second round of the Diamond Classic here in 2023. The winner of this game would play Cherry Hill West as the top seed Shawnee got bumped out 2-0 after Cherry Hill West scored 2 runs in the top of the 7th and Shawnee could not recover. But Joey Slavin pinch hitting here in desperation times for Audubon. They've been held scoreless through 6, and Joey Kurtz has been having an exceptional day. 7 strikeouts as Slavin lifts 1 foul. It's going to be a 2-strike count to Joey. He wasn't batting because Charlie Copsetta was back, and they put Trent Bannell in the DH spot instead of Slavin, considering that they both had comparable numbers so far. That one's downstairs. Should be 2-2. So this is pinch hitting for Copsetta. Outside. So Slavin, the pinch hitter, followed by Tyler Wiltsey, the shortstop, who's going to have his 4th at-bat of the day, and Scott Lynch, another one foul, just a little late. inside. Count will run full. 9, 1, and 2 due up for the Green Wave as they trail by 5. Lofted out toward first, and that's going to be an easy play. He got a little bit jammed, and there's one down. So Slavin retired on the 3-1, and that's going to bring up Tyler Wiltsey, who was hitless today. Struck out in the first, grounded out in the second, flew out in the fourth, and has had 3 errors in the field. And again, he'll be followed by Scott Lynch. Upstairs, 1-0. The Green Wave today didn't get their first hit until the second, but they've had a total of 1 hit all day. I can't even believe that. 1 hit all day, but 5 errors from Buena. Because it feels like they've had a lot more base runners, but it's all been from walks, hit by pitches, and everything like that. These guys haven't been able to hit the ball well off of Kurtz, but their defense has kind of let them down a little bit, and maybe they, stepped up when the pressure mattered because the score is still 5-0. Wiltsey strikes out. He's 0 for 4, and this brings up Scott Lynch. One of the best pitchers in South Jersey, Joey Kurtz, having himself a day. 8 strikeouts, 1 hit allowed. Don't let the 5 errors on the scoreboard fool you. He has done exceptional in a game between 2 South Jersey Group 1 powerhouses who may face off in the playoffs later this month if the circumstances go right. A fly ball in the straightaway right, and the Buena Chiefs have shut out the Audubon Green Wave 5-0. The Green Wave fall to 13-4, and they are knocked out of the Diamond Classic. Buena will play Cherry Hill West at some point this week, and my oh my, the Green Wave, they have fallen so far after beating Holy Cross Prep 10-0 in one of the most dominant pitching performances we saw all year. The Green Wave just didn't have it in them today, and they are knocked out of the Diamond Classic to the number 8 seed Buena Chiefs. The Green Wave, they were the 9th seed, and they were the top seed out of the at-large bids, as they were not leading a division at the time of their admittance into the Classic. But as the fans pack up and as the players meet in their respective outfield corners to talk with their coaches, we're going to call it a day. From everybody here at our DWB crew, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel and Caleb Lane, my producer Donna Wilkins, and myself, Dan Wilkins, we will see you all on Monday as the Green Wave get back on the road again versus the Gloucester City Lions at 3:45 at the J.A. Lynch Field. Again, Buena wins 5-0 over the Green Wave, and they knock them out of the 2023 Diamond Classic in the second round. We'll see you all Monday. Have a good rest of your weekend.